Hello and welcome back to Colonise Build 5. This is our release build video. Um, and we're on Build 5 beginning and end. For those of you who haven't been here before, we'd like to just do a small video where we explain some new features of each build. And yeah, so we'll kind of go through the patch notes and play a little bit of the game and explain what's going on. So beginning and end very much lives up to its name. We focus on the start and the end of the game. So for the beginning, we have the new tips and alerts system. So alerts will kind of replace the old alert system, which was a bit kind of basic. It's much more dynamic now. It works with a variety of different alerts. And what it does is it will give you information and relevant information about your current status of your colony. So it could be anything from completing a research to energy issues with your colony, to colonists dying, to stuff that's just regularly happening in your colony. Other things, the tips are an optional thing. At the start of a new game, you'll be presented with an option. So if we go ahead and do that, and the usual scene has loaded, and we'll explain some of the other changes you might be seeing here. So we go ahead and launch, and we see we get the tips option. So tips, if we turn them on, we can see this is the alert screen here at the top, and we get information about what's going on. We see some tips have popped in, and there's a small bug there. But the tip pops up, and it just kind of directs the player onto what's going on. You know, they get information, and it gives the player a bit of direction. Ideally towards progress, and they can kind of open it and they can close it whenever they want. So that's the alert screen you're seeing on the right. Regular alerts such as orbital drops will pop up letting you know how much have dropped. And if you played the previous build, you'll know that orbital drops are a thing you used to push and manually have to do. We've changed that, it's now automatic, as well as pop drops. So you're automatically always trying to get more population, you're automatically getting the resources coming as well. Because we found that there's never not a reason just to push those buttons, so we just figured let's just make it automatic. For the end game, we've added terraforming. Let's just get some stuff going. And the Terraforming Project is kind of our first end game player goal. So what you'll do is you'll progress through the research tree, and eventually you'll find you'll hit the Terraforming Project. And when you've finished the Terraforming Project research, you'll be presented with a new piece of UI which you can use, and you'll select a terraforming project. These range from a world house megastructure build where you turn the whole planet into a greenhouse, which you're seeing here with this large planetary foundation, to a Earth 2.0 style vision where we intentionally create greenhouse gases by burning fossil fuels at a stupidly wasteful rate. So you build a lot of structures and you try to increase the greenhouse gases on the planet. There are also other strategies, there's a couple of other ones. One's a bit more crazy, involves kind of blowing up your world, for want of a better description. You don't disintegrate it, but you intentionally cause a large explosion on a planet, which essentially resets it. And then there's the final option where you don't change the planet itself, you actually change the colonists that live there. So there's many different options, but they kind of break down into, generally you're going to build about 6 different structures. There'll be like timings just to kind of wait and to allow things to progress in the background. And once you've built all 6 structures, you'll unlock endless mode. And endless mode basically removes the food, air and water maintenance costs from everything, and it basically becomes a non-issue. We set the values to really high, and we remove the ticks so you never lose food, air and water, no matter how you build in the future. So that at that point you just have to worry about construction resources, so plastics and stones. And that's kind of where we're kind of focused our main um, efforts with build 5, adding these two kind of systems into place and kind of giving you a bit more gameplay. The Terraforming Project definitely is kind of currently the end game for Colonise. It definitely requires a fair bit of research to get there, and it takes a bit of time for the research to complete. And when you're in the Terraforming Project, the structures are significantly more expensive than the current standard set of structures. So you can see some of them in the scene. So this is Earth 2.0's one. We have the World House structures here. You know, and they're just kind of dotted around. Every time we update new structures into the game, we make sure it goes into the main menu scene, so you can kind of see what you could build from a colony. What else did we do? We upgraded the rendering engine on Unity, so we went from the lightweight render pipeline to the high definition render pipeline, which means we get access to a few more things. So a lot of the visual effects are a lot better now, and you probably will only see graphical performance improvements probably towards the top end. And the lower end, you might do a little bit drop in frames, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We kind of wanted to give you performance options, and the HD render pipeline give us that. Let's have a look. What else have we got? So we added alerts, we've added tips, we added the Terraform project in the endless mode. There's new research we added, which is the Terraform project itself. It was in the game before, but now it's activated and actually does stuff. There's 24 new structures in the game, which are all Terraforming project related structures. We also have the lighting up effect. Yes, that's something we look to add. So if we load up opportunity, so come on, there we go. So whenever you mouse over a structure now, it will kind of light up to indicate that you're mousing over it. It's just a small effect. We change the shader on the thing and we change it back. And pretty much each building has its own style one. It's just unique to it. So we just, behind the scenes, we're basically just changing the shader of the structure, and we're just making it emit a bit of light and glow a bit. And that's kind of what's going on. Kind of cool. But it gives you a kind of visual indication of what you've done. And when you click on it, you'll also get a slight change in color, especially on lighter colors. On darker colors, it doesn't change too much, but on lighter colors, you get an indication of what building you selected. And this is a bug we fixed since the last build. Switching between buildings would often cause a lot of issues, unless you clicked it and then clicked off. But now you can switch between buildings. No problem whatsoever, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, that light up thing took a bit of a while to come up with. We originally wanted like an outline thing, but we came up with this kind of glowing shader, and I think it actually works really, really well. It's really obvious which one you've clicked and which one you're trying to click. I think it adds a little bit nice detail to the world. What did we change? So we changed the render pipeline. All the skyboxes had to be changed as results. That's why the main menu probably looks a little bit different. We did a UI pass, so a lot of these pieces of text were changed. The fonts were changed. We've changed, let's have a look, get the colony hall up. We see we've changed stuff here, and we've lined up the text much more clearly. We also tried to cull space where we could, and just generally make it a lot easier to and kind of more uniform. Obviously the UI pass here as well on the alert system, I think it looks really nice the way we've done it. Cool. We did a visual effects pass on some structures. So any structure that was that could emit smoke, we added it to. So as you can see here, we have these buildings here that emit smoke. That one emits like a really dark black smoke. This is it's more like a fancy air conditioning unit, so we didn't want it to emit black smoke, and it didn't need a light, so we've kind of got it emitting white smoke. Also at the background here, there's a rocket launch pad, and that launch pads tend to have smoke coming out the side, or steam, or gas venting. So we've kind of got that there. I think it's quite cool. What else have we got? Players can zoom in 10% closer now. So yeah, I found that when I was playing it quite a bit, I wanted to zoom in quite a bit closer on certain structures, so we gave you an extra 10%. Supply drops and pop drops now happen automatically. We discussed that, and the main menu scene has been changed, of course, so we've updated it with new structures. The build notes have obviously been updated, so you can see that here. The build notes are pretty up to date. Yeah, so changed. We fixed. We may as well have a look. The tier 1 hydroponics bay is now creating food correctly. That was a weird issue. The hydroponics bay was just not creating food properly at all. There was a bit of an issue with the code, but we fixed it. The energy UI can now be closed. Though yeah, there was a weird issue whenever you open the energy UI, you couldn't close it again. That's been fixed. Stone stockpiles no longer go up and then drop down about 10 seconds later. That was a weird issue, specifically just with stone it would happen. It would go up and then down and up and down. We fixed that. The colony info buttons and the energy info buttons now work as switches, so you can click them and then click them again and it opens and closes stuff. We fixed a few missing words from warning messages that I found as I was playing. Alerts no longer have an issue. Ah yes, there was a weird issue with alerts when we first implemented them. When you hit maximum population, they'll cause them just kind of, there's no other way to describe it, just bug out completely. But we fixed that. Blackouts now work better with low structure numbers, so when you have like 3 structures and if you don't build a solar panel that early, there was sometimes some weird issues with blackouts and it wouldn't work correctly and throw out some really bad errors. We think we've got them now. And selecting structures one after the other no longer causes UI issues, which is what I discussed before. That works correctly, and yeah, that's kind of the complete build notes for now for this build. A lot of work's gone into the Terraforming Project, mainly because there was a lot of new structures that we had to add. So that was 24 new models we had to create by myself, and getting them implemented, getting them stuff. So, you know, and Terraforming Project kind of came in pretty well. It works mostly as far as test. Pretty much all tests so far have been positive, so that's probably where we need to test most. But that's where we're at with Colonise. I would like to show you more of the Terraform project, but I think it's just something you just kind of need to play and get to that point. If you're looking at the research screen, if you just head straight down, that will kind of turbocharge you towards the Terraforming project. And that's where we're at with Colonise. We're really happy with the build. It's, you know, last week when we kind of put our blog post out, we were expecting not to release this for another week, but we worked pretty hard over the past week, and it's come together really quickly. Once we got the Terraform project done, everything else just kind of fell into place. And yeah, we're really happy with the build. So you can download this at the itch.io page. If you do not have a key, let me know and we will hook you up with a key if possible. So you can download and you can play the game for free. Future builds, so build 6 is our early access candidate, where we're looking to release it on Steam and publicly on itch.io for, we're looking at a price around £5 at the moment, with it looking to increase as the game progresses. So we're looking at when the game reaches a beta state, a considered beta state, we'll probably up the price to about 10. And then when it's fully released, we're probably looking at 15 to 20 pounds. That's kind of roughly where we're at with the pricing. So yeah, early birds, you get the bugs, you get a lack of content, but you do get the best price. So, you know, that's up to you whether you want to purchase the game at that point or not. But yeah, that's Colonise. That's build 5 beginning and end. Thank you for taking the time. We'll probably have a quicker version of this up somewhere soon. But yeah, it's coming together nicely, and the next build is the big one. It's the public release. So we'll catch you next time.